All right, I'm going to call to order the regular meeting of the Common Council for the City of Platteville for Tuesday, February 27th, 2018, and we'll start with roll call.
Barbara Doss is absent. John Francis?
Here.
Barbara Stockhausen?
Here.
Ken Killian?
Here.
Eileen Nichols?
Here.
Tom Nall?
Here.
Catherine Westaby? Here.
The first item on our agenda this evening was to be a special presentation, the tourism report from the Kathy Kopp, the Executive Director of the Platteville Regional Chamber of Commerce. We do have on our desk a report that she was going to verbally highlight. However, she had a conflict with tonight's meeting date, and the person she would have asked to present in her place could also not make it tonight. So in email conversation with the city manager, we have decided, I believe, on March 27th as the date.
I don't have the calendar in front of me, but I think it was the second meeting in March, yes.
The second meeting in March, they will actually come and do a formal presentation. But in the meantime, we do have this information that is being shared with us. Next item is a consideration of the consent calendar. The following items may be approved on a single motion and vote due to their routine nature or previous discussion. Please indicate to the council president if you would prefer separate discussion and action. A is council minutes from our February 13th, 18 regular meeting. B is payment of bills. C is appointments to boards and commissions. I don't have any this evening. E is a license, a temporary Class B license to sell fermented malt beverages and wine to Friends of the Platteville Municipal Auditorium for the Tri-State Bluegrass Fest, which will be held on Friday, April 20th. So that's something everybody can look forward to. E is a street closing permit for the Southwest Music Fest, and that will be held on July 28th. And also in our packet is a 2018 compensation plan revisions. So that is information relative mostly to the fact that we had a number of people retire and new people have been hired and some job descriptions have been changed. Is there a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I move to approve the consent calendar.
I second.
We have a motion and a second, and we'll vote.
I have a question.
And if you're going to ask a question, the procedure would be to ask that one item be removed from the consent calendar, and then we discuss it, and then we vote on that separately. So if you want to amend your motion to remove one of the items, which one do you have a question on?
Compensation.
Okay, so would you amend your?
I move to approve the consent calendar with removal of compensation issue.
All right, does the second agree with that? Okay, so we'll vote.
John Francis?
Yes.
Barbara Stockhausen?
Yes.
Ken Killian?
Yes.
Eileen Nichols?
Yes.
Tom Nall?
Yes.
Catherine Westaby?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, question on the compensation plan revisions?
My question is there a category for city forester?
No, we don't have a designated city forester. The forestry duties are done by Luke Peters, our recreation.
Is one thing I'm getting at, we used to have a city forester, and the city forester at that time worked in the cemetery duties, and then he went and worked a city forester. He got paid 15 cents more per hour. So I'm just trying to find out whether Luke is paid the same rate as recreation coordinator and as city forester.
Yes.
Next question is, could the position be recreation coordinator / city forester? Something to think about.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, could you make a motion then to approve the compensation plan revisions, please?
I move that we approve the compensation plan.
I'll second.
A motion and a second, and we'll vote.
John Francis?
Yes.
Barbara Stockhausen?
Yes.
Ken Killian?
Yes.
Eileen Nichols?
Yes.
Tom Nall?
Yes.
Catherine Westaby?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next, we have citizens' comments, observations, and petitions, if any. I don't have anyone from the audience who has asked to speak. Any council member have anything they'd like to say?
I would like to say something. I just wanted to take a brief moment to acknowledge this will be the last meeting for one of the Common Council members, Catherine Westaby. I'm sure that the council would agree it's been a pleasure having you serve, and you faced some unique challenges during your tenure, and we appreciated how you handled those challenges as well as the contributions you were able to make as a professional city planner. And we wish you and Dustin well, and we hope that you'll consider coming back to serve maybe on a board and commission in the future.
You will be.
All right, thank you. You want to say anything? Here we go.
And we do have some cake and back, so after what will hopefully be a short meeting, I hope that everyone will join in and wish Catherine well. I would also like to acknowledge that we do have a vacancy that we're taking letters of interest for through March 9th. So anyone that's interested in that can check our website for more information.
All right. Anyone else have any comments? We'll go on to the reports in the packet. Transportation Committee would be Dawes, and she is not present this evening. Water and Sewer Commission, Killian, Stockhausen, or Knoll. Any additions?
No
Addition
additions.
for me.
Housing Authority Board, Killian.
No addition.
Airport Commission again is Dawes. Commission on Aging, Knoll.
No addition.
And Historic Preservation Commission, Killian.
No addition.
All right, we'll go on to our first action item this evening, which is a proposal to refinance TID 5 revenue bond.
We discussed this at the last meeting. So the city has a revenue bond for TID 5, which is secured by the tax increment on that tax increment district. And the interest rate is going to reset in September of this year. It's tied to the Treasury note rate, plus 2%, and that is increasing. So it was in the best interest of the city to seek to refinance that bond. The city invited banks to propose. We received 4 proposals, and we're recommending that the council approve the proposal that was submitted by Mound City Bank, as that has the most preferable interest rate. And the interest rate will actually decrease to 2.49% under this proposal.
Any questions, anyone?
Yes. First question, you answered this in part the last time. Platteville Development Group, what business or businesses are in this group? Does that include Ubersox? Am I correct?
No, it would be, TID 5 would be the Walmart Menards complex,
Walmart and Menards?
that complex, and there's also a housing development there as well.
It's the Keystone development.
Okay. My second
Wisconsin Bank
question is in 1, 2, 3, 4th paragraph. It says, due to timing, the city will pay the principal and interest due March 31st. Does that mean the city will not get reimbursed?
No, it's a transition timing. The timing of the transition from the one bond to the refinanced bond, if the council approves it, will take place after the payment that is due on the 30th. So it does not have an impact on interest or principal or cost to the city. But it's simpler to do it by us, the city, paying the last payment under the old bond, and then the new bond would start immediately after that.
So the city is making a payment. Now, my question is the city being reimbursed for that payment? Is that money coming from the TIF?
Yes,
Is it coming from the TIF? That's my question.
Yes, the principal and interest payments on either bond are covered by the tax increment from the TIF district.
And the payment of March 31st is covered by the TIF?
Yes.
Okay. I believe my third question, will the TIF cover the entire cost for time for this 1.3, let's see, I believe it is?
That's 1.72,
Yes.
so 1,720,000.
So
And yes,
the income from TIF will cover over time the total.
yes, that's correct.
Okay, that's my third question. Thank you.
I guess I would just add to that that not only will the income from TID 5 cover the debt associated with TID 5, TID 5 is also a donor to the downtown TID district.
Any other questions or comments? Otherwise, is there a motion to adopt the proposal?
Solution here.
The resolution evidently is something we'll be talking about next time, Ken. This is
This would be to accept the proposal to refinance this revenue bond that has been presented by Mound City Bank.
Oh, okay. I move we adopt the revenue bond with,
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt this proposal. We'll vote.
Francis.
Yes.
Stockhausen.
Yes.
Killian.
yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Knoll.
Yes.
Westoby.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Well, that's our only action item for this evening, so we'll go on to information and discussion, and that leads us back to Nicola, who's going to talk about the resolution authorizing the issuance of this.
All right, I'll try not to make this too painful. So the council just accepted the proposal to refinance the revenue bond that came from Mound City Bank. And so this item for information and discussion is the actual resolution to issue the bond. So it's the same, everything is the same, but this would be coming back for action at the next council meeting to actually formally approve the resolution to issue the bond to Mound City Bank.
Anyone have questions on that?
Ask my questions.
All right, I think then we'll see that next time. The next thing is assigned parking. Howard?
Yes. Yes, it's been a couple of weeks since we've talked about parking, so it's time to talk about it again. Last time at our work session, council provided guidance to the staff to draft a resolution to expand our assigned parking program to the overnight parking stalls in the downtown parking lots. And so I have enclosed a resolution for overnight parking in 5 downtown parking stalls. Any stall that is unassigned shall have the same parking rules as the other stalls in the lot, or if there are no other stalls, then the unassigned stalls shall be no parking 3 a.m. to 6 a.m., basically no overnight parking. And this would include the existing assigned parking lots. Staff will develop a program for leasing or assigning these stalls, and revenue generated will be used to maintain lots, expand parking, or other downtown uses. Based on earlier discussions, the Downtown Parking Task Force recommends approval. And so I have the proposed resolution, and then I have maps of the assigned parking areas, the stalls, for you to review and consider.
Any questions, anyone?
We have 91 parking stalls on the list.
I didn't count them, I'll have
And at the present time, how many parking stalls are leased? How many do we have leased at the present time? I know there are a few on Roundtree Avenue, but I don't know about the rest.
I didn't bring that with me.
You know, I know
Today,
we've
but-
provided that in the past. I don't know off the top of my
Okay,
head.
okay, I just wondering about that. Okay. Guess my next thing is, looking at the resolution, 1, 2, 3, 4th from the bottom, it says that parking program for set parking spaces beginning on or after August 2018. And in the minutes, it says August 1. So I agree with the August 1, but I don't agree with this on or after August 2018, because if you say after August 2018, that means you could drag out to September, October, November, December. So you don't have a definite time. So I would recommend that be changed to August 1. That's my suggestion, based on the minutes of the work session. And then my next item is second paragraph from the bottom. And my suggestion is that it should read, repair and upkeep of city parking lots listed above, period. Myself, I do not like the phrase, or other purposes within the downtown area. I think that's too open. I'd like to keep the money going to the parking lots that are being used for leased parking. Other purposes could be quite open. So I do not favor that last phrase there. I would rather keep it upkeep of the city parking lots listed above, period. That's my suggestion. When people see money in the future lying there, not being used, it's tempting to put it into other uses. I think we should make it being used for parking.
Anyone else have any comments? I guess the only comment I would make would be on the second paragraph. It says that assigned parking will program to make spaces available on an annual basis. And I think it was discussed briefly about whether or not it had to be an annual agreement, or could someone, for example, rent for a month or 6 months. And I think that that was probably going to be something that city staff was going to talk about when number 3 is city staff will develop a program for leasing. So I assume that will be discussed at that time. But I do recall some conversation on that.
Yes.
I have something on as far as cost. We are not decided on cost at this time as far as the council. I did call the campus police on the 23rd of February. I found out that residence halls, the cost for a full year is $205. The cost for a semester is $115. The cost for spring through summer is $115. And prices are to go up this summer. And so I just did some looking in the crystal ball, and I put in here a 10% increase in price. So 10% of $205 is $20. So $205 plus $20 is about $225 for the students to park there the whole year. And then the same thing as far as the price per semester, $115 per semester. 10% of that brings it up to about $126. So my suggestion is to keep prices closer to what students are paying. Now that may not be favored by everybody. I think it may be a good idea from the standpoint that we're trying to encourage people to use the leased parking. Now, I think the next question is, how much lease parking is needed to meet the needs of people that are tenants downtown and our residents down there and are staying overnight, they need cars overnight. They keep their cars downtown overnight. So do we even know what the number of cars is as far as number needed of leased parking spaces? Any information on that? So if we have 91 spaces, how much of the, if we project that high percentage of them do leased parking, how much of the total need every meeting? Anybody have an idea?
I think we'd have to go back and revisit the parking study, and I don't recall, Howard, I don't know if you did,
Okay.
if there was that level of detail in the analysis.
there was
It does
not.
not sound familiar to me.
I mean,
Well, I'm just recommending $20 per month for the cost. Some people are recommending $30 per month. My thinking is that I'm trying to get more people to use the leased parking. And these would have to be people that are residents downtown, or tenants downtown. So that's all I have on that.
All right, anybody
Thank
else
you.
have any comments? Questions? Okay, the next information discussion item is Oak Street parking lot time restrictions.
yes. At the work session on February 13th, the council provided guidance to staff that enabling action be brought to the council to change regulations for the Oak Street parking lot. Staff has prepared the enclosed ordinances to designate the entire Oak Street parking lot as 3-hour parking, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., no parking 3 to 6. It would match the regulations for on-street parking on Main Street. There is also an ordinance, an option B, to designate the westernmost row as no overnight parking with no time restriction during the day. It was unclear to staff what the consensus of the council was from that meeting. We do note that this action was discussed in the work session but was not considered by our downtown parking task force, nor included in any of the public input processes. So we're asking or recommending that the council delay action in order to receive input from the public on this.
Any comments or questions?
Could somebody review the rationale?
The rationale for the change, Ken?
Yes.
I believe that a council member suggested that because that area of Main Street has had an increase in the number of restaurants, that with the current configuration, I think approximately half of the parking stalls are 24-hour, which means that only half of that parking lot could be used usually for customers who are going to any of the dining establishments downtown or to Second Street because it's right behind Second Street, or perhaps going to the theater in the evening. So rather than continuing with the 24-hour parking on about half of that lot, to change it to where cars would be moving in and out, and that might be more advantageous for people who are looking to go downtown and dine at one of the restaurants or go to the movie or whatever. That's my recollection. I don't know if anybody else has anything different. Any other questions or comments on the Oak Street parking lot? I'm fine with delaying action on that one until we have a chance for the public to give input. I think that's fine. All right.
Would there need to be a motion to table it until a certain time, or?
Well, it's information and discussion, so we can't motion. We could
Okay,
do as a consensus, I guess. I don't know, does staff have any input as far as what might be a reasonable time? You know, to get the word out to people? Or how we would make people aware of it, I guess?
Maybe 4 weeks.
Oh, about a month.
So if we skip next meeting but come back a subsequent meeting.
Yeah, I think that would be fine with me. Everybody else will agree with that? Okay, yeah.
I'm in
Consensus would
agreement.
be to wait. All right, that is it. Except for one more motion, and Catherine should probably make this one.
I'll
Second
second.
motion.
Yeah, motion and a second to adjourn. We'll vote.
Francis.
Yes.
Stockhausen. Killian.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes,
Dahl.
Yes.
Westby.
Yes.
Motion carries.
thank you.
I did